right, hear the music. Yeah, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Joining us in just a minute. Stay tuned. We'll be talking with realty expert John Brodeen right after this.
Look, if you're feeling cramped, uncramp yourself. And you won't feel overwhelmed. Look, if you're feeling cramped, uncramp yourself. And you won't feel overwhelmed by the idea of selling your home while you buy another. And you won't come down with a case of the, oh no, what have we done's? Because our network agents have the expertise to see you through the entire...
Well, that was kind of odd.
I don't know if that was synced.
We are missing a camera. Apparently, we didn't turn the camera on behind us, or what is going on here. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I hit the right button, that would help. Yeah. John Brodeen, welcome, man. How are you doing?
Good.
Wasn't expecting you to walk in this morning.
Yeah, we had a quick change of plans, so I'm always glad to come in here, though. I have a lot of fun with you guys. So.
Yeah, we love having you in here. Did you do anything fun for the 4th?
Went over to my parents' place, had some burgers, went and watched the fireworks. Pretty low key.
Stayed in town,
but stayed in town. It was fun though.
Still food. Have all your fingers and
all
toes
my fingers
and everything.
And toes, everything's in place.
Nose looks like it's healing up a little bit.
Yep.
Good.
Everything's good.
Good. Quit getting beat up and beating up people
yeah,
so often.
No, I'm doing good. Right, this is about as good as I'll be. So
okay.
Had Monday off. The gym was closed on Monday, so that's probably helped me a little bit.
Well, do you do that every once in a while, where you just say to yourself, "I need a little bit of a break. I need to rest my muscles a little bit," or you just go all the time?
Go. I probably have been going on average like 4 to 5 times a week for the past four years.
Wow. So, I can't do it.
Except for when they were closed for COVID for a little while.
Yeah, what'd you do then?
I went a little bit crazy. I was missing it so much. I just worked out a lot at home. That's when I got my nice home gym set up. So I've still been using that, but I just,
yeah,
it was hard to buy stuff for that too at the time.
Oh, I bet.
It was impossible to find weights. It was impossible to find like equipment, but I put together a nice gym for myself. So
good. Yeah. And we had that at our house years ago, and it just turned out to be a really nice place to put your laundry.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. All right, should we talk realty stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to be blunt here. Why should someone hire you as their listing agent? I mean, what makes you so good, or what makes you so different than all the other realtors out there?
Yeah, so there are a lot of realtors out there. Everybody knows a realtor. The thing is, not all realtors are, offer the same amount of value. The really good realtors in town are worth every single penny, but the less experienced, maybe part-time, not so good realtors who just really aren't experts in real estate, realtors get paid well every time they sell a house, and they can be pretty overpaid if they're not a professional. So first off, things that make me different. So first off, just being full-time.
Yep.
I've been a full-time real estate agent for, I think, seven years now. I started pretty young, and I jumped into it full speed. So I think in 2014, I was Rookie of the Year in our local association.
Wow.
So I jumped into it full time. About 2/3 of the realtors in town sell fewer than 10 homes a year. I was the top producer in 2017, 2019. We'll see if I get it again this year. I must be doing that.
Are you in the running?
Every other year thing.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
at my office. So out of 247 licensed realtors in town, only 60 are really full-time realtors based on the amount of production that they do. And so, like, some examples, I was in the top 5% of Berkshire Hathaway agents worldwide. The top 10% of realtors in Grand Forks sell 83% of all the houses that get sold in Grand Forks.
Holy, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So there's a small chunk of agents that do the majority of the business, they're the most experienced. They're the real experts. And then you've got a large number of agents that split up a small number of transactions. And like we said, it's hard to be good at something you're not doing all the time. So if you're not doing, a lot of business, you're probably behind the curve. You're a little rusty. You don't know the process like the back of your hand. You're not as organized. And I'm roughly in the top 5% in volume for residential sales in Grand Forks, for Grand Forks sales. I specialize in Grand Forks. 80, and the other thing is, so I've been in the business for 7 years now. 85 to 90% of new realtors drop out of the business within 5 years. They never fully make it to being a full-time agent. So if you're trying to, let's look at it from a process of elimination. You want to eliminate, if you're looking for a real pro, especially on the listing side where it's more important and there's more at stake, you probably want to eliminate brand new realtors and you want to eliminate part-time realtors. And I was also ranked as the top negotiator by HomeLight, which is a third party. It's owned by Google. They have commercials on TV all the time. They help people find realtors basically. And they ranked me as the top negotiator, I think the last 2 years in a row, because they have access to all of our transaction numbers. So,
there's a difference between people that toot their own horn. There's a difference, people that deserve to toot their own horn and people that shouldn't be. I could see why. I mean, your numbers and everything are great.
Yeah, and it's a little shameless here, so it pains me a little bit to do this, but it could be valuable for some of the listeners. So we're ruling out part-time agents. We want somebody who sells a lot of real estate, who knows what they're doing, who's experienced. You also, you're selling a home. You want somebody who's experienced not just in working with buyers, because that doesn't really apply to working with you as a seller. You want somebody who's a listing agent. More than half of my transactions come from the listing side. Last year, over half of my transactions came from the listing side. This year, it's going to be, it could even be up to 2/3, depending on how the rest of the year goes.
Sure.
That takes a much higher level of skills and expertise, working with buyers. A buyer still wants as good of an agent as they can possibly get, but there's a little less on the line when you're a buyer. You're not the one paying them. You want somebody who can negotiate well for you and who can give you neighborhood insights. But if you were to hire a bad agent as the seller, it could really cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So I'm a listing agent. There's not very, even out of those full-time agents, the majority of those full-time agents and the top agents, it's a lot less than half that are actually listing specialists. So I'm in that group of people. Out of those listing specialists, you want to look at who has the best track record. I've talked about this quite a few times with, the numbers you want to look at.
Yep.
You want to look at original list to sale price ratio. That shows how accurately they price properties the first time.
Oh, yeah.
You want to look at sale to list price ratio. So that's whatever it was priced at the time the offer comes in. You want to see at what percentage of full asking price they're getting. So that measures how well they negotiate. You want to look at average days on market. Longer days on market means probably a more stressful, headache-filled listing process. Fewer days on market means it was an easy, smooth process, and that probably means the agent made fewer mistakes. So my average original list to sale price ratio is 98.87%. And something to note here is this is from 1/1 of 2017 through now. So we know in the past year and a half, 2 years, the market's been really, really hot. You want to see how well that agent did when the market wasn't so hot.
Right.
Because it's one thing if you can, kind of match the market numbers when the market's hot, but you also want somebody who can beat the numbers when the market is not hot. That really is going to show their skills. So my average is 98.87% original list to sale price ratio. The average agent in Grand Forks is at 95.84%. List to sale price ratio, so how well the agent negotiates. The average agent in town is at 97.88%. My list to sale price ratio is 99.58%. So we're on average hardly negotiating down at all. And this is everything from 2017 through now.
Now, I would imagine, has there been more negotiating up this year because of how crazy everything has been?
This year, yes. 2019 and before, no. Not as much. Average days on market. So this kind of measures the hassle factor.
Yep.
It also measures how well you price properties, how well you market properties, how smoothly you're able to handle these transactions. And this is from listing until closing. My average is 66 days. Again, that's since the beginning of 2017. The average agent in Grand Forks, 130 days. Almost double.
Yeah.
And then a couple of things that you want to check out. So you might say, well, John, how do we know you're not pricing properties below market value just so that you can, have better original
Pad your numbers a little
pad
bit.
your numbers. How do we know you're not canceling listings once they hit 60 days on market and then resetting them to keep your average
To
days
again,
on market better?
pad your numbers.
Again, yep. So you want to make sure there's no funny business like that going on. So important things to check there to make sure that they're not underpricing properties. My average price per square foot sold on my Grand Forks sales in the past 12 months is $116.30 per foot. The average agent sells homes for $112.92 per foot in that same time period. So we're selling houses for more. More importantly, not just selling houses for more, selling houses for more per square foot. That's a more comprehensive way to look at how much you're selling properties for. And then you want to look at percentage of listings that didn't sell. So people don't want to talk about this, but if you're canceling listings or having listings expired, even if you're canceling a listing and putting it back on the market and then selling it, it's going to count as a listing that didn't sell because it canceled, withdrew, or expired. So the percentage of my listings, so if you take my total number of sales and then, or you take the total number of homes that didn't sell divided by the number of homes that I did sell, percentage of listings that don't sell for me is 6.7%. The average agent, 22.3%. So we're not underpricing properties. We're not canceling properties and putting them back on the market to help our numbers. These numbers are the real deal. So an agent can tell you whatever they want. They can say, we've got the hottest new marketing technique. We've got this new system. We've got this, we got that. But you don't know if it works until you look at how well it's worked for their past clients.
And I mean, you show up here with all these numbers and all the proof. So I want to ask you this. When you were a young lad, when you were growing up, did you want to be a realty expert? Did you ever envision yourself doing this? Because obviously you're still very young, but you've still got a bunch of experience in this because you got an early start. But did you ever think this is what you'd be doing?
To be honest, no. I probably didn't even know what a real estate agent was when I started thinking about what I wanted to do when I grew up. I loved art and I loved design when I was a kid. I would watch HGTV. I loved interior design. I remember even as early as like middle school, I was watching HGTV with my parents all the time and stuff like that. And when they our kitchen used to be really horrible, and then they remodeled it, I think when I was in early high school, and I loved seeing that transform. So I was always really into interior design, and I wanted to do something to do with design, not necessarily interior design, but just some sort of design. You know, what I really liked was I think it's called a industrial designer, where they design like the packaging for products.
Sure, yeah.
I thought that was super cool. I don't know the chances of getting into that line of work. I'm sure it's pretty slim. And then kind of got, I don't know, I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I went to college. And after my first year of college, that's when I did my real estate program through UND and decided to become a realtor. Because at that time, I had learned about real estate investing, which had gotten me interested in kind of the number side of real estate. And that's what eventually drew me to becoming an agent.
So did you stick it out through college? Did you get your degree, or did you just say, you know what, this is so good and I'm pretty good at this, I think I'm just going to do this?
Yeah, I just did my first year at college, just taking like generals, and then jumped straight into a real estate program, finished that, took my state and national licensure exams, and started real estate back in 2014. So yeah, no, I didn't finish out all, and I'm glad I didn't finish out all 4 years of college.
Right.
I probably would have spent a longer time not knowing what I wanted to do and wasting money. So.
Yeah. And the reason I asked is because I know a few realtors that have been doing this for a long time. I mean, probably been doing it for so long, they probably don't use the technology that you guys use at Berkshire Hathaway, because you guys are top of the line with everything.
Yeah. So most agents, like when you interview an agent, the chances of the agent even knowing their numbers like this is probably pretty slim. But instead of just keeping track of how many houses you sell and having that be your performance metric, you know, that helps you out as an agent. That helps you make money. But that's not really that much of a reflection on how good of a job you've done for your clients. So I want to make sure my level of service is top notch. And that's how you can kind of measure it, is by keeping track of these numbers. Because if you do a bad job for somebody, it's going to reflect in these numbers, and you never want.
Absolutely.
I never want to walk away from something knowing that I did a bad job for a client.
So that's something good to show clients when they're interviewing realtors.
Yep. Whenever you interview somebody, ask them what their numbers are. They might not even know. Ask them to look them up, and that might do that agent a solid, because then they'll start maybe tracking them. So some other things that, make me different. Obviously, you see the results. What gets me there are top-notch professional photography. Your listing agent is your brand when you're selling your home.
Right.
So all the other agents know that when John lists a house, it typically sells quickly, and it sells for very, very close to what they're asking. I think it might have been the last time I was on, we were talking about clothing companies, where there might be one clothing company that they have a 50% off sale, like half the time, all their stuff's 50% off. So if you're buying their stuff at full price, you're really better off just waiting for their 50% off sale.
Sure.
Because you're overpaying if you're paying full price for one of theirs, versus another clothing company who's known to never have sales. So then when you're paying full price, you're still, paying a fair price.
Gotcha.
Right? Your agent is your brand in that aspect. So if an agent doesn't, if an agent's known for overpricing properties, when a listing comes on the market attached to that agent's name, everybody pretty much knows that price is probably too high, and they might start looking at that listing, picking it apart, trying to figure out how far off it is, versus when they see one of my listings come up on the market, they know it's going to sell fast. They send it to all their clients and say, hey, this is an attractive property, this is going to sell fast. And that helps, my brand benefits my client, and the agents all know what it's about.
All right. So if you get top seller again or whatever award,
we'll
do you guys have yourself a big party then?
Yeah, we have an award ceremony and that sort
cool.
of thing. So
cool.
yeah.
How does somebody get a hold of realty expert John Brodeen?
701-213-5428. That's my cell phone.
All right. And I don't know, are we going to see you Friday or probably not?
I think Ben is going to be coming in on Friday, but I'm not sure.
All right. You got the number. If you're looking to buy or sell your house, get a hold of realty expert John Brodeen at Berkshire Hathaway. And you know what? If that house you're looking to buy, or maybe you want to sell, might need a little bit of fixing up here or there, get a hold of Executive Properties. They can get it done for you, doing all types of commercial and residential work. I mean, these guys pretty much do everything. If they can't, they're going to hook you up with somebody that does. Get a hold of them, Executive Properties, and their phone number 701-330-1273, or go to executiveproperties.org. Well, that's it, your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Stay tuned again Friday morning about 10 o'clock for another one, right here on Grand Forks' Best Source.